You're listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. I am your host, Al Mega, CEO of Comic Crusaders and Undercover Capes. In this show, I'm sitting down with creators from all walks of life to talk about inspiration, process, the lessons they've learned, and a whole lot more.
What I mean, this is your boy Al Mega. Welcome to a brand new Comic Crusaders podcast. And today we have a return guest that was on eons ago, it feels, back on episode 175 with his project Alpha Dogs. Now he's here today with a fire new project, currently on Kickstarter. Just a little bit of time left. We're going to peep it as we normally do. Let me introduce the man behind the project, the creator himself, the one doing it, Mr. Jon Dexter. Well, my brother, how are you?
Wow, that's a great introduction. I'm not worthy of it.
My brother, welcome back. I'm glad I have you back on and see that you have kept going.
Yeah.
And not just with Alpha Dogs, but now this Dime Store Detective stuff. And I mean, this is issue 3. So, wow, we have a lot of catching up to do, John.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a while. You were one of the first shows I went on when I was first getting into this back in 2021. So, yeah, it's nice to see
2 years. My gosh. Well, cheers to that. 2 years surviving. You're now a sophomore in the indie game.
Yeah. This is my 7th Kickstarter. So I've had four for Alpha Dogs, and now this is number 3 for my other title, Dime Store Detective. So it's going well. Dime Store Detective is funded. We're just about out of time. We've got until Friday at about 11:15 Eastern Standard Time, and it's done. So hopefully we can get a few more backers in here because it's a terrific story. Just trying to get the word out.
You got it. All right. So let's talk about Alpha Dogs just a little bit. You know, what lessons from Alpha Dogs, did you apply, to Dime Store Detective? Any lessons in between those? Because again, this is a newer project than we spoke of last time and different.
Oh yeah. I mean, every campaign is a learning process. When I first did Alpha Dogs, I didn't know anything about an email list or, so much preamble, I guess you could say, before the next Kickstarter. 3 months in advance, start getting the word out about your new project. So it's a learning curve every time you do it. So it's been an interesting process, and Kickstarter hasn't really grown exponentially like I had hoped. I think a lot of people hope, but so you're struggling to get the word out and to garner attention for your project.
Do you think that there's anything maybe the crowdfunding platform itself could do to help spread more awareness of projects, or do you think that's just solely on the creator?
Yeah, I think that's solely on the creator. I mean, Kickstarter does get their 10%, I believe. But yeah, I think they do help get the word out by sending out emails to people that have backed your projects. And if you back somebody's project that's backed yours, you'll get an alert sometimes. So, I don't know. I'm not into the whole marketing, with big companies like Kickstarter. It's just, it's up to the creator to really get the word out and spread the message of what you're doing.
All right, but there's now 7 campaigns. So, What can you tell us, and now these 7 campaigns, how you spread awareness, man? Yeah, that's amazing, John. Not many people could even, last 2 campaigns.
It's tough. It's a lot of just building your social media platforms, just getting as many friends as you can, building up. In my opinion, if you don't have at least 10,000 followers, on all your platforms, be it Instagram, Facebook, X, any of the other ones, then you probably shouldn't launch because the conversion rate is so small. If you send out 1,000 emails, you might get a few people to back your Kickstarter. So, it's all a numbers game, in my opinion. So I'm always friending people as much as I can. And, of all the 100 people that I friend, only probably 2 show interest in what you're doing. So it's really just, a lot of the really successful Kickstarters out there. They have an email list of like 5,000 people. I've got 400 people. So it's just, it's growing and growing. And, you know, I just started going to Comic Cons last year. I only went to 2 this year. I've been to at least 6. So that's something that I've really tried my best to really get active with the Comic Cons, to build your email list, to get the word out, to meet people. I grab them as they go by. So, and
I was about to ask, are you boothing or are you just, you know, trooping it by foot?
No, I booth. You know, I don't think they really like people walking around handing out flyers. You know,
it's a hustle, man. It's the indie hustle sometimes. You know.
Yeah. So no, I pretty much always get a booth. I stay around Michigan just because everything is so expensive now. You know, get a hotel, pay for gas. I'm lucky. Michigan has a pretty good Comic Con scene, and I'm right about in the middle of Michigan, so I don't have to travel too far, get a hotel or anything to go to the con. So actually, if anybody's around Michigan, November 12th, 13th, 14th, I'll be at the Motor City Comic Con. Huge, one of the biggest Comic Cons in America. I'll be there at my table. So come say hi.
Awesome. All right. So let's start getting into this over here. All right. Can you give us a brief overview of what readers that are already aware of Dime Store Detective #3, especially in terms of plot development and character arcs?
Yeah, so I guess I best describe Dime Store Detective as Stephen King's It meets True Detective. You've got a supernatural element to the story, but also it's very much a crime mystery. The old hard-boiled crime stories that you would get from like LA Confidential, or, you know, it's a homage in itself of the old dime store novels. You know, that's why it's called Dime Store Detective. Back in the 30s and 40s, you had those dime store novels, those melodramatic covers that were really cool. So in the campaign, I actually have a retro cover for cover A of Dime Store Detective 3. But, you know, it's very much that hard-boiled noir story, but it has an element that I don't think is really in comics, where you've got that hard-boiled crime mystery, but also this supernatural element that strings throughout the story. It's about this detective named Donald McIntyre who comes upon this crime scene in the present day. This woman is the third victim of the serial killer. She's left in this pose nude in the Appalachian Mountains, and she just so happens to be strung up over the burial grounds. The detective's father and uncle had buried multiple bodies 40 years ago, and they were involved with this moonshine war. We go back and forth in the story. When we're in the present, we're in color, and then when we go 40 years back, when the detective is 8 years old, it's in black and white to really help keep things simple for the reader. Plus, it's got that style, that black and white old school style that I wanted to incorporate in the story. It's kind of like a really dark version of Dukes of Hazzard, because you've got this family, 4 generations of moonshiners. They're feared but respected in their county. And we're talking North Georgia, close to Atlanta, and Athens is where it takes place. And there's always been this, urban legends about the Appalachian Mountains and disappearances. So I incorporated that. So the geography just worked out for me. And this family, 4 generations of moonshiners, the Dixie Mafia comes in. And if you're not familiar with the Dixie Mafia, they're kind of like they're real people. The Dixie Mafia, they were really present in the 60s and 70s. And they were drug runners, hitmen. And they come into town, try to push the family out of business.
Are we sure we could talk about this stuff on air then, John? I don't want you setting me up over here.
No, you're safe. They're pretty much done with now. So this gang comes in and tries to push the family out of business, but they're not going to go quietly, and they go to war with these guys, this big gang. Odds are against them, and as the family is trying to, the 2 cousins, the detective's father and his uncle are trying to find a new place for their still, they come upon this cave hidden in the Appalachian Mountains, and it's got a warning. It's got hieroglyphics on it. Kind of a warning of something's in this cave. And of course they don't listen. And they come upon this entity that's been trapped by the Cherokee Indians hundreds and hundreds of years ago. And they inadvertently release it. And not to give too much away the story, but we go back and forth between the past and the present, and this entity has perhaps returned after 40 years to wreak havoc on the Mackinder family and Detective Mackinder. So is this entity returned and kind of trying to get the detective's attention? We're going to find out as the story unfolds.
Oh, snap. Oh, snap. All right. So are there going to be any new characters introduced in this installment? And if so, like what roles, if you could tease us, that are they going to play in the story?
Yeah, well, there's in issue 3, there's new characters that are introduced. The plot kind of thickens and we move along. Pop? Hey, Pops. he's always around. So we really follow the main character, Detective Mackinder. And I'm not a big, I'm a fan of when we really care about our main character. And so we really get to know him and develop his relationship. He's this kid who, as a kid, even though the family are, kind of reviled in the county, they're moonshiners, they're troublemakers, but the father really teaches the kid life lessons, and you get that definitely from the beginning of the story. It's very much the heart of the story is very much the relationship between a father and a son, and how the son kind of carries the flame for the family, even though they've been vilified and murderers and really hated. And he goes into the detective business and, may perhaps is going to try to redeem his family's name.
Gotcha. And then, I'm going to start showing off the Kickstarter in a moment here, but
yeah,
how's the feedback from, has the feedback from readers influenced in the direction that you've taken the story at all?
No, the story was written, it's an 8-issue story, and it was written in a span of about 2 weeks. So It was a story that I had written many, many years ago, but there was something missing in it. And I just didn't feel happy with it. It sat for a long time. And then I listened to this podcast, True Story, about this kid whose father was a hitman for the Dixie Mafia. He murdered many people, did drugs, ran drugs, but the son always, it never diminished the father in the son's eyes. And so I just loved that dynamic and almost that blindness of love that this kid has for his dad. And so that was like, that was my ta-da moment. That's where I got the theme of the story, the heart of the story. Once you have your theme, you can really take off. And I had just built it up. And then it was a kind of a mad rush of release. I wrote an issue like every 2 days. I was writing a whole issue. So all 8 issues are written out, and the feedback has been great. If you don't have to take my word for it, there was 2 independent reviews done on the comic, because I feel very confident in my story. So I'd say, hey, review it. And one guy, he's very critical of a lot of comics, but he really gushed about mine. So if you probably search a Google search, or YouTube search, you can probably find the reviews for them, and they really enjoyed it. And I've had a lot of people, 60% of people have returned for the next issue.
Oh, wonderful. And let's see why they're returning. Folks, let me start showing off the wonderful Kickstarter that's live now. The link is below. Let's check out the trailer so you guys can learn just a tad more. Oh, damn. Beautiful art, man.
Yeah, it's great.
Wonderful, though. I love the panels and the animation you're using here.
Thanks.
Folks, the links below. If you're listening to this, you gotta look up Dime Slowly Detective number 2. You gotta watch. Your colorist is fantastic. There you go, folks. This baby's only on Kickstarter right now. We have only 64 hours to go. All right. 83 backers, and salute to you, 83. But we need a couple of more. $2,000 goal. I mean, has achieved success. It is funded as of this moment at 25. But we need more, folks. More. So, here we are. We've started learning about the character a bit. Here's some of the wonderful artwork. So, talk about that collaboration between your artists and other team members, and the visuals, the narrative aspects, coming together to build the
story.
So
Stone Tower Studios, they're Argentina. They did all the production on it. Lucas Sharita, Alfredo Origa, and Lucas they do the art, the coloring. It's all encompassing, and the team over there at Stone Tower Studios, I can't praise them enough. They just do a terrific job. They captured that noir style that I wanted. The coloring, it's very much unique, but still definitely harkens to that old school noir. And that's the cover. That's my throwback cover. I wanted to have that look of the old, 1930s, 1940s dime store novels, the very melodramatic scene you have, the tied up girl and getting jumped upon by this villain. And the color was just.
And I'm digging the look too, man. Dope.
And that's the cousins there, or I'm sorry, the brothers there. And in issue 2, not to give too much away, in issue 2, the brother gets possessed by this evil entity in issue 2, and that's the scene for a little ruckus they have. And that's my movie theater. Yeah, that's my movie theater poster. You can see the cave. Yeah. And
what's this over here?
That's the warning. So in issue 2, the brothers, they enter this hidden cave in the Appalachian Mountains. There's always, like I said, urban legends about people missing and Sasquatch or whatever that are buried in the Appalachian Mountains. Well, they come upon this hidden cave, stumble upon it literally, and as they enter the cave, there before they reach this antechamber, there's this drawing done by the Cherokee hundreds and hundreds of years ago of a warning, basically don't approach. And of course, the cousins, they do, and they cross this kind of invisible circle that's trapped this evil being that's there. We don't know if it's a demon, it's an alien, we don't know. And the uncle is possessed by that being, and after that, all hell breaks loose. And that's the trailer for issue 2. That's also a great trailer too.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
and we got here we go. Pledging, folks. Let's start making it happen. We could start as slow as $1 because you have $1 to spare. Why not? You could go without that cup of coffee. Not like you could buy it for $1 anyway. So you see what I'm saying? Get more value here and support an independent creator.
Exactly. And it's a 28-page comic. So for a 28-page comic, I'm not asking for too much. There's some that are even more than that for the digital and paper tier. So most comics are 24 pages. This one is 28.
28 pages at $7 with a estimated delivery of November of this year, folks. Now, if you want a physical copy, just for $5 more, you'll get that printed copy where you could smell that ink, baby. Yeah.
Yeah. I love turning the pages too. And that's the variant of issue 1 I offered.
Okay.
And that's the issue 2, which, as you can see, the artwork is just terrific.
Yeah. Those covers is fire. Then you got issue B for 14. Okay. Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Cover A, 14 for the current issue. Cover C, 16. All right. Yeah. But again, keep in mind, folks, you also get a digital PDF and any other unlocked stretch rewards. So there's more to come. We only got 64 hours left. Let's make this happen. Now here it goes. This is what we're talking about right here. Getting some value for your buck as well. Dime Store Detective issues 1, 2, and 3 PDF 17. That's a great deal. You look to see what you're charging for. You know what I'm saying? Heck yeah, folks. And 20 people. See, smart shoppers.
Yeah. I've done sold a lot of the digital tier. I'm more of a fan of holding the comic in my hands, but hey, I'll take whatever I can get.
All right. So, has your experience in the past 6 Kickstarters shown you the best things to do? On the side over here, the different tiers.
Yeah. I mean, you can't make the digital tier too cheap because then everybody will do the digital tier. And if you make it too expensive, then people will say, well, I'm not paying, X amount of dollars for a digital. It's not even on paper. So you kind of have to try to find a happy medium. My last Kickstarter, I did the digital tier probably cheaper than what I should have. And I had a lot of people back the digital tier. So I try to change that up a little bit when I did this one, make it cost effective, still cut people a deal because, like I said, for each issue, like again, it's 28 pages, it's not 24, so it's 4 extra pages to kind of find a happy balance there.
So, how many campaigns before you learned that lesson?
I'm still learning, but I'm getting better every campaign. Like I said, if you're not learning, then you're doing something wrong. So.
Excellent. And there we go, folks. Double B exclusive 17. I mean, look at this right here. So it's a signed edition at that. Your name on the thank you page. Kickstarter exclusive Dime Store Detective sticker. Right. You also get a PDF and unlock stretch word. This is like going to the bodega and filling up a brown paper bag with goodies. Love it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's only $3 more and you get all the extra perks. So.
Yeah, man. I mean, look at these. These are some awesome deals you have here. Are they exclusive for $20? The number 3 signed edition, the thank you, the sticker, the PDF. So each one has some great tiers. Now, if you want physical issues of all 3, your $35 gets you all 3 issues, physical format PDFs. So that way, you can see them for you guys that like that. Not me. I like to keep my books free and uncaged. Awesome. Look at that. All 3 covers here. PDFs 40. All right. Collector editions. Wepa. All 3 covers are autographed. On this one for 50. All right. Number 3. What is this for? This is the retailer?
Yeah, that's the retail tier. So it only ends up being $10 a comic for that tier if you want to do that. No backers yet, but you never know. You got to throw it out there just in case.
You always got to add a retailer. Absolutely got to do that. Yeah. A custom Barracuda toy car. What are we talking about? Tell me you got a model with you on hand, bro.
So the Barracuda in our story is kind of a character in itself. I wanted to make the car in here kind of like the General Lee or Kid or Supernatural car. Kind of the Barracuda is a 73 Plymouth Barracuda that the Moonshiners drove. Back in the 70s, 80s, when they were outrunning the law, the Moonshiners, the bootleggers had a souped up car. And in our story, it's the 73 Barracuda. It's a beautiful car. My dad would restore them actually when I was growing up. So that kind of gave me a love for them. And so the car is passed down from the father to the son. So not only is it in 1981 in the story, it's also in the present day. The detective drives that as his car going to crime scene. So it's kind of cool. I like having a character kind of in itself. And who doesn't love Hemi?
Heck yeah. And is that how you're going to package it? Look, this looks dope.
Right similar to that, yeah. It'll be similar to that.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Oh, snap. You named this after me. You shouldn't have with the mega bundle.
There you go. Yeah, so it's all covers, all the variants. It's 8 covers in all, every cover that I've done. And some of them I'm getting really low on, so I couldn't I had to kind of curve that a little bit. So in case anybody wants them, the one in the middle for issue 2, that one I only have a few left. So
limited, folks. limited first prints are left, and I think this is a wonderful deal as well. You get every cover physical. What? 90?
Yeah,
Heck yeah, yo. Heck yes. And the
yeah,
thank yous and all that credit. Come on, folks. Here goes. There's another retailer times 10 right here.
yeah.
Wonderful. Check that out. The ultimate bundle. Uh-oh.
This is all the covers plus issues 1 through 4 of my other series, Alpha Dogs, which is a great place to come in on the story with Alpha Dogs because issues 1 through 4 are the first story arc. So we start Alpha Dogs with our main character seemingly dead on the beach, shot up, and at the end we found out which he can heal. Our dog main character Buck, he can regenerate. He has the power to regenerate, so he heals instantly. But there's a mystery of how he ended up on this beach, abandoned and seemingly dead. And throughout the series, we circle back, and at the end of issue 4, we find out how he ended up there. So it's a great place to come in at with my other series, Alpha Dogs, which has gotten even more popular every issue. The readership grows. So.
Oh, awesome. So you said this is the first story arc. So what are we doing here? We finishing up a dime store first and getting back to Alpha. What's popping?
Yeah, it's my plan is to kind of go back and forth with each issue, and then, like I said, Alpha Dogs is going to be quite a few more issues, but Dumpster Detective is an 8-issue series. So.
Okay, excellent. So talk about this right here, the virtual meet and greet.
Just in case someone wants to meet me, talk to me, I got to throw it out there. Just in case.
7 successful campaigns. I mean, if there's any creator out there, absolutely, I think this is of value to learn from someone that's actually, has succeeded in campaigns. So I think this is fantastic value. And not just that, you're getting goodies on top of it. Come on now.
Yeah. And I've been lucky enough that someone has bought that tier every campaign. So I just keep it.
I see that you got one back. That's a smart person that finds the value in what you do. Indies, man, this is how we do it. All right.
The one you skipped was the original art tier. That was
where is that? I'm sorry, $140. There we go. Where is that?
Yeah, and I'm only doing 3 of those because the only original art I have is from issue 1. The rest were done digitally, and so I only have so many of those, and I'm only giving out 3 or selling 3 for this campaign. 1 is already sold, so there's 2 left, and I'm keeping most of them. It's your art from your comic. It's probably one of the most important items I
something.
possess.
Yeah. Please keep one of them.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep over half of them because I love them. But and there's your preview for. That's how we start. Issue 3 is the female who you saw in the trailer, strung up dead in the forest. The detectives are meeting with her family to kind of try to uncover her last day and what she did.
The artwork is fantastic.
It is.
The second panel, just looking at the facial structure, the lines, the coloring, everything came out so perfect.
Yeah. Alfredo is terrific.
Yeah, I mean, look at this. Just in the scene, no words, but you catch the drift of what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm a big fan of not a lot of narration. I like the panels to kind of carry the story and give you the flow. So
it feels cinematic that way. Even when you were in the trailer, like this particular page here, as you saw it felt like a movie when those pages popped up. Oh man, where are they going? What's popping? What's going on?
My background is in screenwriting, so I write my comics very cinematically.
Gotcha. But again, look at this team. I mean, how did you feel when you were getting these pages turned in? These things are
yeah, it's great. It's wonderful when you have in your mind, when you write it down, when you write the script, you have in mind how it should go, and then it comes out even so much better than what you could imagine.
This is great, folks. You see it again. Let's do a quick refresh if anything's changed. All right, but. What happened? Back it up.
It's not cooperating.
You have shut down the internet, apparently. That's what you.
Oh God, don't say that.
You have shut down the internet, bro. All right, so let me just get the link again. Thank you, technology. It's been having me. today, even prior to the podcast, the audio didn't want to work because that's just how they want to do it. You know what I mean? So there we go. 64 hours to go, 25-13, 83 backers. Folks, we got to make it, and you can catch up. Supernatural crime mystery, noir, moonshiners, violence. Come on, who doesn't want this?
Yeah, you're not going to find anything like this on the shelves. If you're tired of superhero stories, you want something different. This is about as different as you're going to get. There's not another comic like it. It's very original. It's almost its own sub-genre in itself, a supernatural crime mystery, noir story.
Yeah. And if this could be anything else, John, anything, what would you want it to be? A movie or an animated?
A movie, definitely. I think it'd make a great miniseries. I really do.
Let's project it. Let's make it happen.
Yeah. I hope HBO comes knocking on my door one day.
They're coming. Don't you worry. All right. So again, folks, we have 64 hours to go. Support independent creators like John. This is a dope project. This is his third. 7 projects in. He's been kicking ass. Successful. Let's just keep making it rain independent creators. Now, last words here, John, before we go. Do you have any words of advice, for the ongoing folks? Again, 7 in, which is impressive. Again, I'm seeing you from the first time you came to me 100 in episode 175, and then see this growth in those 2 years. I'm like, whoa, bro, you inspired me. Love it.
Yeah, I guess just you got to put the work in. I devote at least 2 hours every day to promoting the comic. And I'm really happy that it's almost over with. But yeah, I guess I just say put the work in, and that's about the best thing you can do. And go to cons and build up your social media, build up an email list. That's how I've done it. But there's probably, like I said, there's always room for improvement and room to grow. So yeah, if you like I said, I've been writing screenplays. I was a 2-time. The Academy Awards put on a screenplay contest, and the winner gets their movie made. Well, yeah, I had written a script called The Weeping Trees that was a 2-time Academy Awards semifinalist. So I was the top 180 out of 7,400 people 2 years in a row. So I know what I'm doing. I know how to tell a good story, and I can guarantee you that you'll enjoy it. And if you can contact me on social media, I'll even give you issue 1 PDF for free. If you really need some convincing, because I really believe that this is a really fun story people enjoy.
If they did not see the art that I just showed off that Kickstarter, if that doesn't convince them, they must be blind. And folks, That's right. Hit them up on social, as you mentioned. They're below. Instagram is alpha_dogs_comic. And on X at Real Alpha Dogs. The links are below. But most importantly, folks, this is what we got to do. Today, in the next few hours, right? Support the project. The link is below. Check it out on Kickstarter. Dime Store Detective issue 3. All right, the link is below. The tiny URL, right? Click away until your fingers are sore. And hit up those wonderful tiers that are here. And can you repeat, John? Where will you be again in person? Should they want to meet you?
I'll be at the Motor City Comic Con, November 12th, 13th, and 14th. That's in Novi, Michigan.
There we go. You heard it there, folks. All right. I know he'll share it socially and we'll repost it as well, so you guys can be aware, meet the homie, get some signatures and of course support amazing independent creators all over the place. John, thank you once again for hanging out with me, talking about your amazing project. Again, me seeing that growth of yours, from a fan to a creator. Thank you, John, brother. Keep killing it, bro.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And mi gente, you know what it is. It's Al Mega, Comic Crusaders podcast with the amazing Jon Dexter. Hasta la próxima. Wepa!
Thank you for listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. If you like the content, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, please visit comiccrusaders.shop and our extended podcast family over at undercovercapes.com. And also, make sure to download the Comic Crusaders app on the Google Play Store today.